Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. When is the best time to sell XRP and finally realize some profits? Well, a top analyst has shared a core piece of his strategy when it comes to selling in general, and I want to talk about that a bit in this particular video. And this is not meant to be an all-encompassing video about an exit strategy for crypto. There's going to be plenty of time to talk about that in the coming weeks and months ahead. I think there's a lot of life left to this bull market, personally anyway. But I do want to talk about it, and I'll share some of my thoughts on this. And I also have opinions from some additional chart analysts sharing their opinion about what we perhaps should expect to happen directionally in the coming weeks and months as well. So plenty to talk about. But before we go further, I do want to be clear that I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just run this YouTube video. I run a YouTube channel, the Moon Lambo channel, which, by the way, is the best channel on all of the YouTubes. There is science behind that, but I just run this channel for fun as a hobby. I like to talk about Ripple and XRP and crypto, and my real life family and friends are not nearly interested enough for me to talk about it with any of them on a daily basis. So I'm glad I have all of you. We share the same interest, at least. Now, as I record this, XRP is at 87 cents. Bitcoin is at $36,259. Market cap for the asset class, 1.56 trillion. Bitcoin dominance climbing. It's up to 43.41%, which, frankly, to me is just another indication that we're nowhere near the end of this market cycle. Last time we got to the tail end of the market cycle, there were so many altcoins popping off that Bitcoin dominance got down to 35%. And many analysts that I follow think it's going to go a good bit lower this time, actually, including Credible Crypto, by the way. He thinks that we should expect to see Bitcoin dominance below 30%. And so he's a very popular chart analyst here. I think most of you are familiar with him at this point. But he was asked the following by somebody on Twitter named Lauren. She asked, for someone that hasn't been through a bull run before, would you recommend trying to sell at the end of the bull run or hodling long term? My main holdings are XRP, HBAR, and Ethereum. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot. There's certain coins that I don't know why it is, but there seems to be some interesting overlap. I see XRP holders, a lot of them are huge fans of VeChain, and a lot of them are huge fans of HBAR. Just an observation. I don't really have anything to add to that, but cool. You know, like I love other cryptos. I like it when they do stuff, so thumbs up for Moon Lambo here. But anyway, Credible Crypto responded with the following. I would try and sell at the end of the bull run. So I want to share a thought on that. I want to sell at the tail end of the bull run, but I'm not going to be able to do that. Just to be super duper real, I know Credible Crypto would agree with this as well. You can't time the market, just like when you're dollar cost averaging in, you can't buy the bottom perfectly. That's why it's always best to just have the assumption whenever you do choose to purchase something. This is my thought anyway. You can tell me what you think. So I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold anything, but like the best approach I think is to just understand, like, if you're going to purchase something at some point in the future, it will be worth less than when you purchased it. Because it doesn't mean you purchased it and now it is nothing but straight up. That's a weird way of looking at it. If you just think logically, why would that occur? It doesn't make sense. These markets evolve over longer periods of time. But yet, people, especially when they're new to crypto, they jump in, they buy it, it goes down, and oh my gosh, it's the end of the world, and I'm going to panic sell. That's the type of mindset that seeps in. So for me, it's not about actually being able to time the end of the market. I mean, yes, it would be magical if I could do that, but I know I won't be able to. So what I'm going to do is sell as the market increases, which means that some of the XRP that I ultimately sell, once I have the benefit of hindsight, I'll be like, well, that's a shame. Maybe if I just held, I would have gotten twice what I actually got for those first few XRP sales, and maybe that'll happen. And you know what? I'm going to think and feel if that's the case. Okay. That's it. I was like, okay. Because I know that I can't control that. And so what I'm doing is recognizing that I don't understand the feel, like I don't know how it's going to unfold, but what I am doing in the moment, since I don't have the benefit of hindsight, is I'm reducing my risk exposure and making sure that I get something. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. So just like I dollar cost averaged in and didn't worry about the price going down below where I initially purchased some of my XRP, I'm also on the flip side, as things go up, I'm not going to stress out and beat myself up when I see that I sold and then the market keeps going higher. That's fine. But that's also why I'm not going to sell all of it at once. So yes, towards the tail end of the bull run for crypto, yes, that is in a general sense what I'd like to sell, but it's going to be in a ton of sales. I don't know exactly how many, but for me, it's going to be a lot. And then Credible Crypto also shared the following, and I personally hadn't seen him talk about this before, but and actually I don't even know that I've talked about this on my channel, but I definitely internally knew that this was going to be the case for me too. So he and I just happened to agree on this. And here's what he wrote though: taking partial profits is generally not a bad idea, but I have a rule. If/when I take partial profits on spot in this bull run, that money is out for this bull run. You don't want to make the mistake of taking profit just to jump in 30 to 50% higher because we keep going up. Bam, exactly. And so the key part that I want you to take away from this, because I think it's the most interesting point of discussion out of all of this, it's this idea of when you sell, like to me, it just makes sense to have conviction that that's okay. So like just a moment ago when I was saying I know I can't time the market. I'm not going to beat myself up. If I'm beating myself up and thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I should just buy back in, it's going to go even higher, I'm not going to do that stuff. I'm not going to do that. When I sell my XRP and I take my United States dollars out, like they're out for good. Like they are done. I'm going to put them to work doing something else that is less volatile, because for me, it's about risk exposure. And yes, when the bear market comes, I'm going to buy a ton of crypto again. Yes. But I'm talking about when this thing's still going up, I am going to sell, and I'm not going to freak out if the price keeps going higher. I'm just going to take it out, and that's it, period. That money will never go back in. I'm going to put it to work doing something else. And to me, that makes all the sense in the world. And so you might be like, okay, so when does it make sense to actually sell? Well, everybody's got different expectations, targets, this and that. I can tell you for me, and admittedly, I don't have everything figured out, but there's a reason for that. I'm not going to sell my XRP based on an expected price or a required price. I don't have an actual dollar target that I have to hit for me to sell XRP. I also am not going to make that selling decision based on a timeline. And so you could be like, okay, so Moonambo, what's it going to be based on then? What's going to make you sell? Yes, well, I'm glad you asked. You astute observer, you. I'm going to sell based on market structure. So for me, what that means is effectively, how high is the rest of the market going? Because if Bitcoin goes to like 150,000 or something, I'm not saying it will, but if it goes that higher, what if it actually did go to 200,000? My gosh. Well, if I see those high prices and I'm seeing Ethereum run up too and some other else, that's going to factor into what the overall structure looks like, and that will affect what I think I could reasonably expect from XRP. And the good news, actually, as far as that goes, is XRP, as much as people generally don't like the fact that it's probably going to be among the last cryptocurrencies to pop, if history's to repeat anyway, the benefit, though, is if it is going to be among the last to pop, you might be like, okay, well, we know that money starts at the top of the crypto market, which means Bitcoin, and then when people want to take profit, it splinters off and it's invested into it. Whether it's Ethereum and pick your cryptocurrency, eventually XRP, it splinters off, and so those other coins will never have as high a market cap as Bitcoin for this market cycle, I think, anyway. But as you see how high this goes, you can get essentially like, okay, well, those charts are probably going to look about the same, because if you look at any chart for any mid or large cap coin from last market cycle, and if I showed you a chart for every single one of them, and I do mean that literally, if I took off the name of the cryptocurrency and all the numbers associated with it, you wouldn't know the difference from one to the other, because all of the patterns are the same. All of them were the same. And so for me, seeing how high something goes, it can still be kind of tricky, I'm sure, in the moment to figure all this out. But I might be willing to hold longer than I otherwise would if I see that this market's just like taking off insanely, because my expectation to some degree would be that more of it would potentially flow into XRP ultimately. So it really does. There's a lot of moving parts to all this. So I just don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I might first be willing to sell XRP, and I don't know for sure if I'm going to do this yet either. Again, a lot of it does come to market down to like what's the rest of the market look like. But I can't imagine me selling anything for less than, well, certainly not for less than the all-time high. But maybe I take like a little bit of profit first at around like $5. I'll tell you guys when I finally do. It'll be a big day for me, because I've never sold a single XRP in my entire life. So, my plan is to sell the vast majority, if not all of it, this market cycle. That's my plan to this point. So that'll be a big day for me when I do it. Happy to share that with you. But when I do, if I start selling that low, if I do, it will be a rather small percentage of my overall XRP holdings. And then as the price increases, I'll sell more. So let's like, and for most of the time I've been running this channel, for anybody that's been listening to me for some time, because I've been running the channel 2.5 years now, roughly. Most of that time, my plan was to never sell all of my XRP. But I got to admit, I've been thinking more lately, especially over the last, I don't know, half a year, 6-8 months, something like that. I've been thinking about it more, and I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm like, well, yeah, because look, if XRP is going to have utility indefinitely, then why wouldn't XRP be here decades from now? And then you could look back and be like, my gosh, it's practically free at these price levels. You know, you could look back and have that type of hindsight moment, but of course we don't know that for sure. But I don't know. I guess in terms of just the idea of just selling it all, here's the thing. I think that everybody has their price, and so let's say XRP goes this market cycle way higher than what I realistically thought might happen. I really do think, to be honest with you, like if that price, if such a price was like I'm staring it on my computer screen, I might just be like, okay, take off my XRP. I think I would. Now, of course, that being said, that doesn't mean that I'm short the utility of XRP at that point. It doesn't mean that I don't think it wouldn't be worth substantially more in the future, but it does mean that I've got to diversify further. It's just too much of an opportunity. And then I would, in all likelihood, once the market crashes, because I do think these cryptos are going to crash 70, 80, 90%, at that point, yeah, I think I would probably after the market crashes, buy a ton back. That's my plan, because I'm telling you, once this market crashes and everybody's afraid to touch it, I'm still going to be running this YouTube channel, and that's when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in, and whenever I start buying, that won't be the bottom, and I know that, and then I'll lose money in the short term, but then the price go further down and further down and further down, and I will keep buying, just like I did this past market cycle. Because already just by doing that, my investment, in XRP was down for the vast majority of the last 3.5 years I've held it, but now it's way up. And so all the little volatility in that when we were more range bound towards the bottom end, I was expecting that. And so now we're in a range that's higher, which is also something I expected to happen at some point in the future. I just didn't know when. So now we're there. And now I'm feeling great about it. Well, there we are. So I'm going to do that again once this is all done. This is not that complex. But people get so wrecked because they don't have enough data to make reasonable conclusions, and that in conjunction with emotions making your buying and selling decisions, like that's how people get truly wrecked. So I'm just saying. And so here's a tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer, fantastic chart analyst. And just a little bit ago, he tweeted out the following. Let's see. He wrote, I'm a hodler. I've hodled through some seriously jacked up stuff nightmares are made of. Think I can't hodl through this? LOL. I like the sentiment of that. Yeah, it's like, to me, this is easy. Like, the emotional aspect of this it has not been a factor for me since August of 2018. That was the last time that I've ever felt fear about my holdings. And it still didn't cause me to have a behavior that would have been detrimental to me, but it is the last time I felt that. And then I just had a come down at this moment where it was just like, yeah, this is stupid. It's just data. Because like this is the thing. I already had all the data in my head, so I knew it was stupid to feel those things. But I still did in August of 2018 when XRP got down to 25 cents. Now, in hindsight, that was a great time to buy, wasn't it? What do you know? As XRP is worth substantially more today, and it recently ran up to $2 roughly. But yeah, no, I've felt that stuff before. Like, it's a normal human thing. But I got to a point where I lived through it enough where I was like, this no longer affects me. It just doesn't. And it legitimately doesn't. And I've had a fantastic time ever since I got through that point, to be honest with you. Here's another tweet from the Blockchain Backer. I finally got to looking at charts this evening. Times like right now are always tough, every single time. But I am very excited for the future. And I'm thankful we don't have a the sky is falling narrative. We will get through this moment as we always have before. Speak for yourself, Blockchain Backer. No, I get it when he says, is it always tough? Well, I'm just being honest. It's not for me. But for so many people, I get that it is, and it makes sense. You've got your real money in it. That makes you normal. You're not like weird or abnormally weak or anything like that. You're just a normal human. So I get it. That's why I keep saying, like, overcoming these emotions, it's better in terms of like making reasonable educated financial decision. So I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold. You make that call. I'm just saying maybe don't let emotions don't let emotions be in the driver's seat when such decisions are made. Here's a tweet from chart analyst Ambessa. The herd was bullish all along from the Dogecoin top, Ethereum and Bitcoin top, down to higher time frame support at $31,000, just to flip now in favor bearish charts. This market always amazes me, and I'm glad to be on the right side. And so this is obviously striking at the idea of be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. So what's happening here when things were looking up, people felt validated. My gosh, the sky's the limit. People, my gosh, this thing's going to keep pumping. But that actually was not true. Markets did correct because there was too much greed. It needed to correct. This inevitably will happen over and over and over again. And now that we're at the bottom, oh my gosh, the sentiment, that's so scary. But in hindsight, I think you let time pass, you'll find that it's probably, and I'm not telling you to buy anything, again, to be clear, but I think that hindsight will show that for the people that do buy in this time where there's been this tremendous, massive dip, that if you hold for a sufficient amount of time, you could actually come out ahead. And I think a lot of people view it that way. So again, like I just said, I want to repeat it again, that is not me telling you to buy. This is me sharing my suspicion. I could be wrong about everything I think and feel about all of this, but this is the way that I look at things. Here's a tweet from chart analyst Lub Crypto. The odds at the moment lie in favor of the bulls. A retest of orange strength resistance zone, which would be $41,000 to $44,000, is almost inevitable very soon. So he's talking about Bitcoin there, of course. Price will likely confirm orange as resistance. That's the chart he has on the screen if you care to look. That's what he's talking about. It says get rejected and continue ranging. A boring sideways and a bit bearish summer, not a time to sell at all, buy and hodl. So he's talking effectively about range-bound price activity, but he is one of the analysts that acknowledges, yes, even if so, we're still in an overall bull market. Like, there's sideways trading in bull markets at times, and there can be a lot of fear even within structurally what is a bull market. Michael Vandepop seems to kind of more or less have like a similar idea, somewhat similar. Take a look at this. He wrote, chart on this, Michael Vandepop wrote, still expecting a scenario like this to happen on Bitcoin. And so you can see where he's got the squiggles here. This is where he's projecting it. And this is an estimation, obviously. It's not like this is artfully calculated, as evidenced by the fact that the chart slightly goes back left. That is not how time works. So anyway, but the overall trend is up. And so this is the squiggles here. It's from now through roughly September right now. So a fair bit of sideways trading action, big pop, big pullback. And that was interesting, too, because chart analyst Murphy here wrote, Bitcoin, I'm predicting very bad news once we get to around $47,000, if you know what I mean. Well, I do know what you mean. Another pullback, another correction. Oh my gosh, what if it goes back down to 35,000? Oh, I knew it. It's all going to zero. Bitcoin Ponzi scheme scam. Yeah, the narratives are fun. Oh, humans and their silly emotions. And so that's what we're working with. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you guys have general strategies in terms of or what do you look at? Like, what are the metrics you personally are looking at to decide like when is the right time to sell? I'll say this too. I don't know where the price of XRP is going to end this market cycle, but given how high Ethereum and Bitcoin have already gone, and that the fact I don't think this market cycle's over, I'd be a bit surprised if we didn't see at least $10 XRP, but I don't know. I could absolutely be wrong, which is why I said I could be surprised. And I would be. I would actually be surprised, but sometimes in life you get surprised. You know? I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.